Now we can get started. How about that? Okay. So, just to be able to let you guys know, I have been dying trying to get this to work for the last hour. Um, Something had happened that my Streamlabs settings were just all amiss. And so now we're here. We're set up. We are good and ready to go. Um, your lovely faces can see my face. And let's dig into some stuff. So, for those of you who were here last time, you were here when I went ahead and I sculpted out my penguin redesign from the Batman. Now, I mean, there are a lot of things we could go through and change. There are a lot of things we could play with and modify, but I really like how he turned out. Had a ton of fun with him. I keep looking up over onto this other screen to be able to talk to you guys. And might as well move the camera so that when I look over, I'm at least looking at you guys. So fun, right? Just had fun with it. Really, really enjoyed this sculpt. I had a poll on my Instagram just to be able to kind of tell you guys what the vote was. It was between Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and the Joker, and Poison Ivy won out. So what we're going to do is today we are going to try to do some Poison Ivy love in the style of the Smartest. Let's go ahead. I want to get in here. Let's go to Tool. Nope, I don't have it in Tool. Okay, so here's what we're going to do then. We're going to say load tools from project. I need to go ahead and set up the what's it called? The head plane sculpts. I need to set those up so that I have. Should be in Z data, I think. I might be wrong. Startup resources, no. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Ooh. Come back here. Maybe it's under Z projects. Z projects. Yep, it's in here. Okay, so we get head planes. Okay. So we will grab. Let's grab female 128, and then we can kind of move up in resolution as we need to. This is just, it's not a bad way to start. It might not be a great way to start though. So we'll have this up just so that we have it. I don't know why there's a dog. I don't want a dog. You know what? I want to do it like this. Let's say, because there are a couple things that I want to do. I'm going to want to stretch this this figure quite a bit. I definitely want to smooth out some surfaces, make sure that this is feeling really really stylized. If you guys have been around me a lot, you guys know that I love pushing stylized characters. I love really looking for a good look. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steven Anderson. I am a character supervisor on Overwatch. It's like this. It doesn't matter what I do with this. This already feels masculine. Let's do this instead. Let's go ahead and say not import, initialize. I'll say QSphere, and we'll start out with this. Because this will be much easier to keep feeling feminine, I believe. It is a little bit small though. You can see like that's gonna need some extra love. So let's go ahead and just kind of boost it up a little bit in size. That'll work nicely for us. It's like the nice thing about Dynamesh is that it works based on your screen space resolution, not your mesh size. Um, so if you adjust your model within the shape within the scene, you can have a little bit more flexibility with your actual Dynamesh resolution. So we got this going on. I'm going to say let's, you know what, let's keep going a little bit with the face. Let's kind of pull out for chin. Okay, we're going to start to kind of dig in for eyes. I want to have kind of like strong-ish cheekbones. I don't want to go Uma Thurman on this. And I don't want to go Bruce Timm. I want to go kind of more, something my own, right? I want to go, like you notice, I don't have any reference. Maybe you don't notice because like you can only see one of my screens. But I think it's important for me at this particular stage to go through, think about what's important to the character, and to make design changes, design choices based on those things. So I'm wanting to start to think about, one, making her feminine, because she has those features that, or those, what's it called? Those, shoo! She has pheromones and things that kind of drive the people around her crazy, and so we're going to play with that. I want her to feel, I want her to feel super, super alluring. One of the things that I'm going to do, let's start kind of blocking it. I do want her to have like big, luscious lips, just because that feels like that'd be really fun. So I'm going to start off doing something like this. Let's grab this and we'll kind of like pull that and up and in. This is going to have a little bit of a, I'm trying to remember his name. I can't, I'm blanking. There's a super, super cool artist, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he loves doing like these super big puffy lips. Does a lot of pinups. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do something similar to what I do here. There's another artist from Spain. His name, he goes by Zapatillas Rusas. If you look up his blog spot, Javier Recio. He's super cool. You see, okay, cool. So these are different polygroups. That's helpful. Just going to go ahead and commit that. Ooh! Geometry, Dynamesh, polygroups, turn off blur. Yalls. All right, let's get some stuff going on here. Ease that out. We can kind of pinch things. We do what we need to. Let's grab another sphere here. In fact, what we could do, we could just grab this guy right here. This guy, as I'm talking about a girl. Let's go ahead and turn off symmetry. Get it turned around. Now, I mean, I have some things that I'm going to want to tweak and change with this. I don't want it to go out so far. I do want to make this lower lip a little bit rounder instead of being so pointed here in the middle. But then this at least gives me a little bit more of that sort of shape there in the middle that I want. So we get that. We'll kind of pull the corners up and in so that feels a little bit more cohesive. Okay, those are like super puffy. That might be way too puffy. That feels a little bit crazy. Let's make sure that we have different colors for those lips so we can keep them separate, keep it clean. We're going to keep it for now. I think that it's going to be helpful to have something kind of crazy. So let's do this. I'm going to grab, let's kind of play with the shape back here a little bit. Cool. Let's play with the shape here a little bit. Okay, cool. I'm trying to decide Okay, so I've got a couple of ideas for jawline. I can either make it, let's do this. I'm gonna grab, kind of like minimize that chin so that it feels like it's like she's all pucker, right? Pure lip. Let's maybe even like pull that forward some. Hey sis, I'm gonna kind of pull the inside bit of the mouth back a little bit so that way we can get a little bit of a cavity there. I'll probably add something in to kind of pose as teeth. And then let's see, let's add a neck. I want to have a nice long neck. This is going to be poison ivy, so this is, I want her to have like this long long neck with these sensual shoulders, and we're gonna have to make some leaves and some cool hair. What happened when I was streaming earlier? So I was streaming, I think possibly to my own Twitch, um, which is cool, but I mean it's not not where I was meant to be streaming. I don't know how I got to be streaming to my own Twitch and not to everything else. Like it's just like come on. So yeah, I had to go through and fight with that. I had to fight with that quite hard. Okay, so let's get some eyes in here, just for the sake of making sure that we are able to block things in. That's a little bit too strong. Let's take this down into the teens. There we go. That'll work out. Let's see. This feels a little bit like it's too strong here. Ooh, I like that angle there. Okay, so like it's instead of this being like a nice smooth curve going up, it went up and then it kind of broke and curved down. I like that. I wonder how long I'll be able to preserve that. So this is going to be poison ivy, yeah. I kind of want to. I need to save her. I kind of want to save this as like a. I need to get a neck in here before I do it, but I want to save this as maybe a starting point so that someday when I go ahead and do when I do Catwoman, it'll work for that too. So let's go ahead. Let's say let's get a nose blocked in here. Let's get the neck blocked in here. Hey Voltario. Yeah, I'm going to be going through the Gotham phase first. I think we're going to be playing very heavily with DC stuff. I think that'll be just kind of a fun. I don't know, just kind of get onto a kick. I might go ahead and do some sort of like Overwatch redesign. You know, just to kind of do Overwatch in my style. You know, I think that'd be fun. I think people would get a kick out of that. I know that some of my students would get a kick out of that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do something kind of like that. Gonna kind of push the bottom up a little bit, push the top up a little bit. Just trying to really push these shapes some, just to get something started, right? Let me see. We can sculpt this out later, but this will be good enough as like a base. We'll have to see kind of what this means, how this, you know, how we proceed with it. Maybe have that about right there. Ooh, I like that. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's better. Okay, cool. So let's come back over here. Let's get my IMM primitives and we'll start getting into other things. Yeah, Juno is released on Overwatch and she is awesome. If you haven't played Juno yet, she is so much fun to play. She is so much fun to play. I'm really excited about her. She was my buddy Frank sculpted her. He did a really good job. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let's get this. I want a slender neck. I might want to like bring the head, like the back of the head in. I feel like that might be a little bit too much back of the head. So let's go ahead. Oh shoot, I lost some symmetry. Okay, let's bring this in. I didn't tell my symmetry to go away. Did you tell my symmetry to go away? Alright, let's see, something kind of like this for now. Alright, let's see, let's grab this. We'll kind of pull this up. Let's make sure that we got that neck in one poly group. I don't want any kind of creasing on here, and if we go ahead and we do Dynamesh, sometimes it'll leave like little creased edges. Looks like it's not today though. That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm just gonna double check and make sure. Crease, uncrease all. Cool. So that should be good now. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. We'll just kind of smooth it out. Cool. So we got this nice slender little neck. Okay. It's kind of a nice little base. Do something like that. All right, so then let's come over here. You know what? Let's leave symmetry on. What I'm going to do, let's go ahead, control click and drag to be able to bring this down. And then we'll just kind of like expand that out. We'll shrink it down. This definitely needs to kind of go the other direction for it to feel right as a... in fact, here's what we can do. We can go ahead and grab the gizmo, turn it into our transpose tool. We just kind of like shift it this way. That'll give us a much nicer piece to work with. All right. Okay, so this is a pretty all right little base. We can use this. No, I didn't want that to be same color. Right? We don't want it to be the same color. It is indeed the penguin. No, I didn't have anything to do with Juno and her design and her model or anything. I did play test her an awful lot though. Definitely a super cool character. I mean, there's a huge likelihood that I'll work with, you know, a skin for her at some point. That'd be really cool. I really like her character. She's still not my favorite, but I love her character. She's so much fun. Yeah, you do need to download it, sis. So much support from my own sister. Okay, so just trying to like block in some shoulders here. We're gonna need. I kind of want to. I mean, we can play with them depending on the individual character, whatnot. But I kind of want to have her have like like pointy Madonna breasts. I don't know. We'll see kind of how we go about playing with this. Because it might not feel right once we get into adding in things like the foliage or different things like that. So we've got this going on. We've got all that going on. let's add in. I'm trying to think of what. Let's add in the ears, just because you know it's simple to add in. We can make this our little base. Let's say flatten. Oh, I need to make sure that I have symmetry turned on. Let's flatten that. It's still an era. We can finish here. We can't finish here. We're only getting started. Okay, so one of the things that I'm wanting to think about is that, like, with this type of female character, I want to think about shapes being alluring. I want to think about like features that are going to be flattering, features that are going to be distracting. Um, Keeping the ears small is going to be helpful, and I'm trying to think about. Yeah, let me see. You want to think about like any of the features that a woman is like super self-conscious about. We want to try to diminish things that women try to like diminish and augment things that like I don't know. It's all about trying to like push idealized features, things like that. I mean, I'm definitely like way pushing some of these other features here. But we'll figure out what's good. Go ahead. I want to pull this forehead forward a little bit. I kind of like the way that that's playing into it. Let me see. We'll get some of this going on here. Maybe get a little less width there. That's looking pretty cool so far. Okay, I'll keep that. Let's grab the ears again. I'm just going to control click and drag, and then we're just going to kind of smooth it out. We'll kind of inflate it some. But this is just quickest and easiest way to be able to make an ear. Super, super nice. Something like that. Control W so that I get a different poly group. Some of these poly groups are so similar in color. I'm just like, I gotta make sure that I'm not going to merge anything together that I don't want to merge together. Okay, cool. I might go ahead and actually give her a clavicle because that could be helpful. Let's come in here. Let's get the curved tubes. We'll just boop, something like that. That's really thick. Okay, so we got something like that going on there. Just kind of pull it apart a little bit so that it's not exactly on top of everything else. All right, because then what I can do is I can grab this and I can say, all right, let's give this a little bit of a peek and have it dive into the chest a little bit here, and that way it gives me a little bit more of that shape. I can also kind of like thin it out over here, give it a little bit of like thick and thin. Let's kind of pull this out a little bit so that it keeps some of the shape a little bit better. All right. Cool. Oh, it looks like it turned off my Dynamesh. So let's turn that back on. This is all just going to be like just fun, right? Just for fun. Let's go ahead, Dynamesh. I may want to... we'll keep it at 128 for now. That's fine. That's fine. I do want to hide some of these pieces that don't need any kind of polish. The rest of these I can go ahead and just grab deformation. We'll hit polish a little bit just to get a little bit smoother of surface. Let's go ahead and we'll mask this out so that way we can kind of like polish these out a little bit. It's like the surface is a little bit, you can see that it had like weird surface irregularity. So just want to kind of smooth that out a bit, get myself something nice to work with. Cool. Okay. This, since the nose is kind of like, it has like a top plane and a lower plane, we can say polish by features. Here, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to grab slice curve. We just slice right through it. And then we can say polish by groups. You know what? I didn't like how that turned out. Okay, do something like that. Let's say polish by groups now. It's like it's not holding that corner very well. So, I mean, it's just maybe just a matter of grabbing this corner now and kind of pulling it back out. Maybe we can mask this out, invert, and then just kind of smooth things out some, so that way we get that nice clean transition along the top of the nose. Now what's nice is that I need to make sure that I'm keeping that I'm keeping my polygroups separate, because I don't want that to split into two pieces. That would be terrible. Gonna light it up. You trying to do like a BTS cover of Dynamite? Is that what that is? Okay, I want to see about facts. Let's see about kind of creasing that, getting a little bit more of a. No, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. Let's see, Shift F. There we go. I did Control F on accident. I was like, uh-oh, that's not what we want. Okay, let's go ahead and get that kind of creased together. Give this a little bit more volume. Hey Deepak, VFX prep artist, use software Nuke and SFX and Maya and like it. Oh, good. I am a character supervisor on Overwatch. I use Maya and Photoshop and and ZBrush, and I like it. All right, get that crease a little bit further down. Now I think that like some of the there's a little bit, maybe a little bit too much volume down here on the bottom of this lip. We're just going to kind of smooth that out just a little bit. Let's actually grab these lips. Oh, come on, you. Let's kind of pull them in a little bit, just a little bit. I want to see about pulling this out, kind of trying to have it start to go toward being part of the rest of the character's face. Let me see. I think what I'll do. Let me see. I'm trying to decide if let's do it. Let's do this. I'm gonna say save as. Let's go into characters for fun. ZBrush characters for fun. Make a new folder. We'll call this I'll say poison ivy. That'll put her pretty much right next to right next to penguin, which is fun. Poison ivy 01. Say save. Okay. Now let me see. With penguin, we super dug into these shapes here. I have some shapes going in up here that I want to kind of honor and hold on to. So we're going to make sure that we get, let's kind of hold on to that peak right there in the brow. Cool. Cool. All right. Cool. So we have this. This is saved now. This is something that we can go through. We can keep going now. All right. All right. So after 30 minutes, we got a decent little block-in mesh. Those lips are absolutely massive, and I'm curious to see if they will stay the whole time or if we will end up changing a whole bunch. So let's start digging in. Okay. Let's grab an eye. I'm going to go ahead and Control-Shift-D just to be able to keep that mesh there. We're going to name this Bust, just so that we can kind of differentiate between what is, what is the bust, what is the, different asset, different subtools. Just going to keep track of stuff. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's add in an eye. I'm going to say Insert. We're going to insert a sphere. Now, just to be able to kind of keep track of what it is that we did with this, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I mean, it's a sphere, but it's been warped to be able to fit the space. So what we want to do is we want to be able to make sure that we are creating a design that feels like it fits the look. We're just really wanting to try to make sure that we're creating a look more than making something work exactly the way that you would expect. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to not use the poles at all on the eye. Go ahead and turn off the transparent shading here. Okay, so right now, this is about the right size that I want. I don't want it to be perfectly round because I want it to extend down maybe to about right here. So maybe what I'll do is let's grab this, we'll kind of pull it down. I'm trying to be very careful with how I push and pull the eye. The cheeks might need a little bit of adjusting too. Let's kind of pull this back some. Okay. We might pull this up a little. It's like one of the things that I want to do with this particular character, I don't want her to have a lower eyelid. If she had a lower eyelid, it would make it so that it feels a little bit less less alluring, less appealing. She'd feel older. She'd feel, all sorts of things. So this will help her to stay feeling young and attractive and things like that, right? Just like have that cheek shape just die right into the eye. Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to grab. Let's do this real quick. Let's see. Control T. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to say Control Shift D to be able to duplicate that eye. Give me a second to cough. All right. I may want to push the eyes even bigger though, so we'll have to see kind of how we. I want to push the eyes bigger. It's so tricky. All right, let's play with this. Let's play with this. We got the eye. I'm gonna take this one. We'll just say delete. So I don't want to. Let's move it down because I do want to protect that that eyebrow shape there. So I'm gonna kind of pull that out a little bit here. And I know for sure that I want to have like a specific flow to the shape here. So I'm trying to go through and kind of prep and think ahead. A lot of this is going to end up being eyelid the way that we see it. So I'm trying to go through and kind of consider that as well. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll kind of maybe push this in a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's do it. That might actually be like too bulgy. Let's play with this. Okay, I've got an idea. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to push and pull it so that it's keeping the area the same. But I want to try to push in on the volume some so that it's not sticking out so far, because otherwise it's going to feel like she's like super bug-eyed, and that's not going to be as alluring or appealing. So she doesn't want bugs on her plants, you know. Why would she want them in her eyes? Okay. That's looking pretty cool. I like that. I do need to make some changes to the structure of the cheek. So I want to get this nice curve on the bottom here. And that'll help the character to feel pretty cool. I'm trying to think, like with the eyes, I'm trying to go something somewhat Jessica Rabbit, but I don't want to go full out Jessica Rabbit. Let's go ahead. Let's take this, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay, I think that this could work. This could work. So let's do this. I want to say Control Shift D. Let's come down here, deformation, mirror. That way we have, you know, because this goes way over the center there. We can go up, we can merge it down. So now we got those in there. Okay, so now we got an eye on each side. It's super alien, right? In order to go through and you're funny, sis. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab these, kind of push them in just a little bit, and then Control Shift D to be able to duplicate those. I want to use the knife curve. Okay, so make sure its symmetry is on. We're going to expand this a little bit, so let's hit inflate. That'll probably work. Oh, wrong direction. So we're going to come over here. It didn't do it on both sides. That's not a hard thing to fix. We'll just come over here, geometry, modify topology, mirror and weld. Woohoo, wrong direction. Okay, deformation, mirror and weld. Now we're good. Okay, so I'm starting to get something interesting on one section of the eye. I don't like how the other section of the eye looks. There are a couple things I want to make sure that I tweak. I want to get very specific, clean graphic shapes here. So there's going to be a lot of sculpting and reworking. I want to get very sharp, very sharp eye transition. So this is going to end up coming up. Just kind of smooth that out a little bit. Kind of smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so this is going to need to be fixed. Let's go ahead, let's grab this. Pull that out a little bit. This is going to need to be fixed. Pull this up a little bit. Okay, so now we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get like an eye shape that's interesting. I definitely still want to go ahead and tweak some of these shapes in here so that we get something that feels a little bit more more sharp, more graphic. Get that kind of coming off the back here. I mean, the tip's going to be covered with whatever we do for eyelashes as well, so it's not really a huge deal. But we're gonna play with this regardless. This maybe could be tweaked to get a little bit more of that graphic shape here. And kind of push it in on the bottom and push it up at the top. Okay, I'm just trying to cozy things out, relax some points so that it feels as smooth and clean as possible. With the, you know, we're still at a really low resolution, so yeah, no bug-eyed Jessica Rabbit for you. So we got this going on. That's starting to look pretty cool. Okay. Let me see. Purely because let's grab in the topology brush. I kind of want to get a little bit of a topology flow going on here. It's not for, you know, being able to make actual topology. It's just for the sake of making some eyebrows. I'm just gonna go ahead and commit that like that. Let's come up here, subtool, we'll split unmasked points. Come down here, we'll rename these eyebrows. We can bring them all the way down to the bottom. I want to make sure that Dynamesh is turned off. That's great. Now the head, the Dynamesh got turned off as well. I want to go ahead and boost my resolution up to 256. Just double it. Hit Dynamesh. That way I don't have to worry about like super losing any detail or crisp edges that I've defined. Kind of soften some of these things out here. Cool. That already looks pretty smoothed out. Let me see. Grab that. Grab that. Cool. Doing all right. Doing all right. Cool. So now with the, if I can grab them, with the eyebrows, I want to make sure that I'm playing with some taper here so that it's not the same boring thickness all the way through. Like, that's just not great. And I want to make sure that this is not, oops, that doesn't have that weird triangle at the end, because that's not cool. All right, let's get some of this. We have maybe a little bit more thickness there. We can have this be a little bit less less off of the skin here at the bottom, and then have it kind of flare out more at the top. Maybe not a ton, but you know, we want to try to control, make it feel like there's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we end up playing with that. We need to add another edge loop in there to make sure that that's feeling controlled there as well. Okay. So we got some stuff going on. This can get smoothed a little bit just to kind of ease out that shape there. Let's get curved tubes in here. And do that. I'm gonna go ahead real quick. Let's turn on curve modifiers. Let's turn on size. Let's get this to be, you know, thick to thin to thick, or thin to thick to thin, however it needs to go. And in fact, we could even take this so that instead of being, you know, in the middle, we could have this so that it is kind of offset to the end a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. So I'll keep that. Go ahead, we'll commit that. I do need to make sure that this is extended out. This hits like the corner of the eye. And then we just go ahead and we just control it, you know? Just gonna kind of pull this out. Okay, so now we got to go over here. We got to make sure that we are getting. I want to try to define something of like a plane, like a top plane and a lower plane, to be able to make this feel a little bit more graphic, a little bit more interesting. Go ahead and hide that. Kind of invert. Oh, that's something I want to make sure that I, let's say split hidden, because this will be eyelids, eyelashes, eyebrows, eyeballs. Cool. Okay. So let's get the eyelashes in order here. So we'll just kind of pull this out a little bit. You see that's starting to make like a plane change there. It's starting to create like a top surface and a lower surface. It's starting to create this appeal, this interest. It's super thick though. I mean, like if I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this from the side, that is dominating. Oh, I don't have any kind of clicking. Maybe you're both going crazy. Or all three of you, I guess. I don't know. What was the clicking like? I mean, my fan's just fine. Unless it's something like with my chair or something, I don't know. Hopefully not. Interesting. Okay, the levels seem to be behaving better now. But it does look like it has some sort of weird static going on, and I can't figure out what's causing that. Do you guys still hear any kind of static? Oh, good. Okay. Keep going. We can manage. You can manage, but I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and kind of like smooth. I inverted my mask and started smoothing in the opposite direction, just so I can try to create a bit more of a feeling of I guess just to be able to control that peak. Okay, that's feeling kind of cool. Oh, I'm sure somebody will let me know if they hear it again. So weird. So weird. I hate running into issues. It's such a stupid thing. So for the eyes, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here to Penguin, and I'm actually going to grab. I'm actually going to grab the pupils. We're going to bring them over here. We're going to say insert pupils. How much of a size difference do we have? Okay, so size difference, not too bad, not too different. Yeah, I wonder if maybe there's an issue with my mic. Maybe I need to replace my mic or something. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to say geometry, modify topology, mirror and weld. Just to make sure that I have the same eye on each side. A ver. That's interesting. It's funny because like I don't know if you guys can even hear when I tap on it. Hopefully, hopefully not. Yeah, I unplug it pretty regularly. That is not working for some reason. Why is that not working? Let's say delete hidden. Let's just go ahead. We'll place this one. It does need to be a little bit bigger. Why is that behaving so weird? So weird. I have no idea what's going on. I hate it when there are like little bugs in ZBrush that I just don't understand, because that doesn't happen very often. Okay, it does. It really does. It actually does. But I'm not much of a tech kind of person, but it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Looks like it's starting to go crazy again with the noise. Like it looks like it's still trying to... I mean, like, here's my microphone and it's still reading me. Like, what in the world is going on? Gotta be something weird. Because, like, if it can hear me... If it can hear me just fine without the mic... That is so weird. I'm sorry, guys. This stuff should not be behaving this way. Cool. Anyway, we got this going on. I'll just focus on trying to be a streamer. Maybe what I need to do is I need to like get advice from my big time streamer friends and see what their what their big tips are. Got some friends at work that do some actual live streaming. And I was like, I've been doing this for years, but there's still things that I have no idea about. Alright, let's go ahead and grab this, Control-Shift-D. We're just going to do the same thing. We're going to come down here, we're going to say deformation, mirror, and then we can go ahead and say merge down. Oh, but merge down with the other piece. Merge down. Okay. This way, hopefully... No, it still doesn't want to do it. That is so bizarre. Every Twitch stream's been having tech problems lately. Bummer. The ghost in the machine. It might be. Alright, so anyway, we're just going to leave that there for now anyway. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's go ahead, let's grab... I'm actually going to start with... Maybe I won't start with Oswald's skin tone. Let's do something that's her own. I All right, let's go ahead. Let's come over in here to like a nice red orange, and we'll come up to like a fleshy kind of skin tone. Let's grab my skin shade 5. This is my version of skin shade 4. I just went ahead and named it skin shade 5. Kind of fun. MRGB color fill object. She's definitely much more saturated than I need right now, but we'll go ahead and we'll kind of push some colors and figure some things out here. We'll go a little bit more yellow, a little bit more, maybe a little bit lighter in tone, and we will say, let's grab the paintbrush that I made, SMA Painterly. Here we go, and we'll just kind of start laying some color in here. That's a little bit too strong, so let's go ahead and let's say. The color, we can go ahead and bring this down to 0.05. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do is let's grab this. We just start kind of fading some color in here. We're just trying to get some different color zones. We'll probably definitely end up with like some other colors through here. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting a good variety of color going throughout her character, so that it feels interesting, so that it feels like it's thought out and designed. Let's get some of this going on over here. Let's grab. She needs some like rocket red. I don't know how far to push that. Maybe let's go over here. Do something like that. Can I color pick this? I can. Awesome. Go ahead and paint this in. I'm not 100% sure that I like this this red, but we're gonna kind of entertain it. I do want it to go beyond the eyelid itself, just to kind of have it fade out a little bit, and we're going to have to add some sort of gradient in here. Otherwise it's just going to feel a little bit too flat. So we're going to have this in here. Okay, you see how it just feels too flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the eyelid. We're going to grab, we could grab a little bit of like this darker color from the eyelash. Just kind of start fading that in, but we also want to kind of shift color a little bit too. So we're going to shift this more this direction. Maybe go a little bit cooler. And you see that starts to add a lot more depth, a lot more interest. Just kind of gently add it in. See, that feels much more interesting. Okay, getting that subtle gradient in there, super cool. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's grab the skin tone right here again. Actually, let's grab this, because I kind of like the way that looks here. So let's go ahead. Let's grab this. We're gonna say color fill object. I'm trying to debate, let's say color fill object on those eyebrows too. I think that'll probably be a nice shot for that. I have no idea what a smudge is. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's the Streamlabs software, the OBS, like you're talking about, because like it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stop pretending to know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get this a little bit more razzle red. Okay, I'm liking that color a little bit. It's a little bit strong though. So let's see. Let's go ahead and tone it back. Tone that back quite a bit here. I don't know. I don't think pink is the right solution for her lips. I think that she needs something more like this. Let's go ahead, let's grab the standard or paintbrush, this will work. Let's go ahead and we'll do something like this. Something like this, but I don't want it to be like the same color top and bottom. I think that having a little bit lighter of a color on the bottom is super helpful. So let's go ahead, let's grab this. Essentially all it does is it tries to, that's a little bit too much of a difference, I think. But I think the way that we can kind of combat that is that we can come over here, we can say, maybe bring down our RGB intensity, and we'll just kind of gently bring in some of this lighter color to the front and center, and that'll help to make it feel more like it's intended to fill in this idea of shadow or something like that, right? We can do something similar on the bottom where it's like we have this bit here. We can just kind of bring in some of this darker value. Again, just looking to bring in some gradient, some interest, right? So we've got that sort of thing going on. Okay. Off to a start. Off to a start. So this is all just blocking in color. It's all about trying to figure out like what feels like it works. Let's go ahead and kind of dust in some more of that. Let's bring up our intensity some here so that it's a little bit less crazy. I'm going to eat back at that pink a little bit so that it's not quite as strong. Let me see. I'm trying to decide if I kind of like the softer gradient better. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll eat away at that. We'll come back with the lighter color and just kind of eat back the other direction. Just try to pull it down off of that ridge a little bit. She feels, okay, so one of the things I'm struggling with is that she's feeling a little bit too much like a woman off of Garfield. I don't know. Makeup tips with the smartest. All right. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna try to play around with some of these shapes here. The lower lip I think could work out just fine. But I think this upper lip is a little bit much. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to play with making this lip feel a little less aggressive, a little less, maybe it's this point too. This point feels a little bit much. Like it's, like I don't mind having like a sharper top. But I definitely want to try to, like I like that shape a little bit better. I think that works a little bit nicer. Let's grab that nose. I'm gonna pull that down a little bit. I definitely want to get some good eyeliner down underneath the eye. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and grab that paintbrush again. Let's see kind of how that works. There we go. I'm liking that. That could work. Now I'm picking red for a very specific reason. Red is going to be complementary to green, which is going to be very heavily included elsewhere in her design, right? So I'm trying to think about, like, I mean, her hair is going to be red, but her plants are going to be green, and like anything that's, you know, involved with her is going to be green. So let's see. I'm going to grab. Maybe it's worth kind of blocking in some green down here. Maybe not that much. Maybe it's just like over here on the side or something. Maybe we can get some kind of creeping up her back. If I add some to her cheeks, that feels weird. We'll have to see if we add more green to her as we go along. Let's block in some hair. Yeah, this is going to be poison ivy, yes. Yep, I went through and I did a poll on my Instagram. So if you're interested in kind of finding my my Instagram and things like that, there is a link down below to be able to get to all my links, my bio site link. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat too, so you can find it there. You're able to find me on Instagram and ArtStation and all sorts of other sites as well. So so yeah, I mean, you can find that there, and that should be a good time. And then yeah, I try to post things like polls and things like that as often as I can. I like to involve, I'll say, my audience, you know, people, my friends, with decision making and these sorts of things. It's fun. Okay, I'm going to try to make kind of a Tesla T with this. Not like, you know, super Tesla T, but I do want to kind of make like a. I do want to make something that feels. I'm trying to think of who does this. Corey Loftus does this sort of thing where he has like this really cool, like sharp, like three clove sort of nose. I want to try to be a little bit more I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with this, because this is going to be interesting. Let me see. I do want. That might be a little bit too narrow. Let's go ahead and mask out that whole nose. I'm going to try to push to get a little extra to the bridge of the nose, so that way I can have. Let's go ahead and make sure that all of that is masked out. I don't want to cause any problems over there at all. Oh, and the lips. And the ears. Let's do that. And the neck. Or you just hide it. That should be fine. Let's go ahead. Let's grab this. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Okay, that feels really sharp and really aggressive, but we're going to play with it. Okay, I'm going to grab this. Let's let's get to the select rectangle instead. Okay. So this is definitely creating a very, very different feel. I'm trying to figure out how I want to control it. Let me see. Because I mean, when you're designing something and you're redesigning something, you're wanting to ask questions and control things rather than let things just happen. And sometimes things just happen, and you're like, oh, I like that, and I wanna control some other things going into making it a little bit better. But you definitely want to make sure that, here, let's make sure that my smooth isn't smoothing out my color, because I don't want it to smooth out my color. Okay, doing something like this. I'm going to kind of pull this forward just a little bit. It's all about trying to go back and forth, and it's all about the iteration. It's all about the way things read, the way things, you know, the way things feel. Kind of want to get this a little bit, maybe a little bit wider, but also a little bit. Oh, there we go. I like that. Okay, that's starting to go somewhere I'm liking. I definitely need to go ahead and control the eyelids and things, but I'm liking it. This is going in a good direction. Okay. It's like it's always about trying to figure out a balance of design and anatomy. I don't want it to be too anatomical because it's supposed to be insanely stylized. That's interesting. I don't know that I like it per se yet, so maybe we got to go ahead and we grab this. We just kind of pull this down and in some. I like that better. So what? Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to come in here, transform. We don't have that mirror symmetry turned on this piece. So now I can go ahead and I can do this, and now I've got everything working as intended. Ah, that was stupid. It's always about that simple little thing that I just, oh, that was weird. That simple little thing that that's going to make all the difference into why something is behaving or misbehaving. Luckily, it looks like my sound has been behaving. Oh, Melissa gave me a high five. She's probably not watching the stream. She's a friend of mine from work that also does Duolingo, and so it's probably something to do with you know, because like I had my perfect week. Alright. So we got this going on. What's going on here? That's interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that paintbrush and we'll paint that out. Okay. Okay, she's going somewhere. She's going somewhere. I like that. I do want to add some extra kind of bone definition to her cheekbone here. So we're just gonna like kind of lightly come in here like that. We'll fade it out on the ends. And then we'll make it like even less intense, make it bigger. And we'll just kind of like cut in a little bit here too. So now I know that this makes it like a lot less feminine and graceful, but I think that it's also one of those things that can make it feel more character specific. She's almost starting to feel a little bit more snake charmer. I don't know that I like that as much. It does kind of add a femme fatale sort of feel. I'm trying to decide how much I like it. Maybe it just needs a little bit more softening generally. So I think having a little bit of the bone structure there, I think that that helps to add an edginess, helps her to feel a little bit more like a villain. I'm gonna add a little bit more of like a straighter sort of jawline too. I think that that'll help. Again, bring in that idea of being more of a villain. Something like that. We'll grab this. We'll kind of make that a little bit straighter. I'm trying to be fairly intentional with my shape choices. This ear, I do want to make sure that this feels kind of more graceful, more specific. It feels felt too round. Okay, let's go ahead and save. So that we don't have to worry about losing it, right? All right. I'm not entirely sure about the material on here, so I might go ahead and just hit material, color, fill object, just to kind of keep it simple for now. I kind of like that look anyway. That's kind of fun. I'll probably go ahead and worry about adding the material back later at some point when I want to try to actually render. Let's start figuring out hairstyle. I'm thinking big and flowy. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Well, you guys are kind of weighing in on that. Maybe I'll go in and I'll start kind of playing with her neckline a little bit here. Ooh, speaking of neckline, my neck is freezing up. Oh. That hurts. I have no idea what's happening with my neck. And so my first reaction is to go through and try to pop it. That's smart. Let's do something kind of like that. Remove topological. Grab that, kind of just pull that down and in a little bit. I'm gonna stand up. Let's do the standing desk thing now. I think maybe it just maybe I need to get a little bit more of a of a posture adjustment. No, you keep going. Yeah, my desk moves. I'll show you if you come to visit, sis. All right, I don't like this, so let's go ahead and let's angle that down, which obviously I need to go through and angle this so that that fits. I wonder if I did something like, ooh, I found her. Look at that. Okay, that's gonna be cool. Let's do that. I'm gonna grab the eye. Let's kind of pull that in a little bit so that it fits better. I like that so much better. Okay, so we're gonna take this. I'm gonna grab tip of that nose bridge and just kind of pull that. I'm not 100% sold on the actual tip of the nose bit. Like I like the way that the nostril hoods are kind of going. But I definitely like how the bridge of the nose is going into that bulb of the nose area now. Okay. I'm gonna grab some of this stuff here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's grab, close that. Grab that move brush. We're just going to kind of push this in a little bit. This little guy right here needs to go to market. So let's kind of get rid of that some. Let's go ahead, let's grab, I'm going to grab clay buildup and kind of dig in here a little bit just to kind of add a little extra volume for that ear. Using a mouse or tablet? I'm using a tablet! Of course. Now there are people that use a mouse. My buddy Rakan uses his mouse. Although I think I've got him kind of converted to using a tablet finally. It was funny. He was one of my buddies at on Overwatch. And he recently just switched over to a different company, so he's working for a different group now. But he's awesome. He's one of my absolute favorite people that I've ever worked with. Very genuine, very kind person. He loves making other people feel awesome, you know, and it's super cool. I miss him a lot. We all do. He was a great person to have around. Good old Rakan. Cool. Okay, so that's going on. I want. Go ahead and smooth that out some. I want more resolution for the face. I don't know that I should worry about that yet, though. I need to block in that hair. I keep saying I'm going to block in hair, and then it's like all of a sudden I get to going and like, oh, I'm going to do this thing on the face instead. Here I go again. gonna come in here. Let's boost that intensity back up with the damn standard. This little bit down here, I like the idea of this being a little bit more like kind of diving right into her cheek, into her jawline. So what I'm going to do, let's grab this ear and kind of make it so that there's like no earlobe. I don't want the earlobe. Let's kind of make it so it's more of a graceful sort of shape here. Let's soften that out. Okay. Oh, my goodness. It is impressive. Sculpting without pressure control capabilities on tablet is literally witchcraft. Very true. It's like, it's all about going through and just layering up your strokes, and I'm just like, I already layer up my strokes. There we go. I think that feels more in line with what I wanted. Okay, hair. We're gonna say append. Let's grab a sphere. Beautiful. Let's grab this. We'll rename it hair. And we'll probably do all sorts of things with this to make this feel right. There we go. She's like Bride of Frankenstein or something like that now. Cool. Let's grab this. We'll make it. I'm trying to figure out like how orange I want to go with it. I don't want it to be like too orange. With an afro, let's go. Yeah. That'd be something. That would be something. It is creating kind of an interesting shape. No, let's see. I do kind of like this for right now. Let's go ahead. Let's say color, fill object. I want to start out. Well, let's go ahead. Let's turn on geometry, Dynamesh. Turn on groups, because we will eventually be turning, adding some things in. Turn on symmetry so that we're good. All right. Let's kind of start pulling that out, pushing this in. Let's maybe build out a little volume to the side here. This definitely needs to come in some so that it's not like overlapping too much. Now it's starting to look like Angelina Jolie. But like, interesting. In fact, maybe what I'll have to do at some point is take this and turn her into like Maleficent or something like that. That could be something, right? Let me see. Let's grab this. I want to start making this come off of the back of the head. Now I've got two different ideas. No, I do have two different ideas. Let me go ahead and I'm going to sketch them out. We can kind of chat while I sketch, but okay, something like that, and then something like, this is like super crude, so it's not going to be anything that I'll show you guys. It's not going to be something that's going to make any sense. But I think like there are a couple different things we could do. We could either have it be like a slick kind of going off of the back into like flowy, or it could be something that is, has like some front business too. I think like having the front business could be cool, but I'm kind of liking the vibes that this is getting already with just, you know, I mean, it doesn't even have any hair on the top of the head yet. But like, you know, having, you know, something simple like that where it's just, you know, super, I'll say minimalist, to that in that regard. And that's kind of interesting. Maybe what it is it's like I can go through. I'm going to turn on my symmetry, or sorry, turn off my symmetry rather. And let's start kind of digging in. Digging into some of this. I think slick back might not be the right vibe, so I'm going to go through and do a couple different things, but we're just kind of going through and adding some hair volume right now. Four buttons, I think, are always important to have. Your undo, redo, and ZBrush specifically. Shift, smooth, control, masking. Absolutely. Poison ivy with an afro. If you have pen buttons too, usually set those up. Alt key. Interesting. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about doing that. I don't know that I'd ever thought to do that. I have my stylus set up so that it's universal to have like the forward button being my my right click, and then the back button being my middle click, just so that way if I'm working in Maya, it's just really easy. I've never set it up to be program specific, so that's kind of interesting. That's interesting. Grab this. Let's see, I'm kind of trying to just pull this out and have it be a mess at first, you know, kind of like how Ashley does. I love Ashley. I love the stuff that she does. I've never really tried being just like super messy with it at first, like she does, to just get the shape and get the idea out, and then to just like dynamesh and let the happiness happen, right? So we got that. That's really, really messy. Let's go MRGB, color, fill object. Come on, color, fill object. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of like smooth some of this out. This will thankfully keep some of its ridges and things like that, so that's kind of cool. Let me go ahead. We're gonna kind of shift and rotate, and I'm going to come over here. We're going to use our transpose line. Kind of shift this over so that this is also, I like the idea of like a side heavy hairstyle. So maybe what we do is we'll come over here and we'll start kind of eating away at this. That's starting to feel pretty cool. Okay, I start pulling on this so that I can make this feel a little bit more unified to that idea. Let's get this to come in and start from the same start point. It's not too bad. She suddenly turned into Storm for a minute. I got lost. Let me see. She controls. Oh, you're talking about like the Intuos buttons. I got so like when I teach, I have the Wacom Cintiq Pro medium. And it's just kind of like the standard of what's around everywhere. So yeah, it does have the buttons. I never use them. I never use those buttons. They're there, and it's kind of cool that they're there. But yeah, I never use them. Yeah, I just use the keyboard. I don't know if that slows me down a ton or not, but yeah. And then so here at home, I actually have a Cintiq, which is cool. I can't get it onto the screen, onto the camera. But I've loved my Cintiq. I think that this has been easily like super nice, super great, useful purchase for me. I had used like very basic tablets for years, and then I just decided, as like, you know, it's just time. It is just time. So I did it. I did it. I got myself a toy. Okay, one of the things that I'm trying to do as I'm working through this hair is I'm keeping the pieces together. They're all in the same subtool. If I add any other pieces for like the base hair, it'll also stay in this subtool. Let's go ahead and turn on AccuCurve for the move brush, and I just want to get some sharp shape transitions in here. Get something like that kind of going on. I don't like that right there, so let's kind of pull that in, kind of pull this out. I still have my AccuCurve on. It's fine. It's not a huge deal. I'm just trying to go through and kind of push and pull and play. She's coming on, but she's like, I'm trying to really think through making this work. I want her to have an earring too. I think it'd be really cool, but it might be one of those things that isn't quite natural enough for it to feel for it to feel like a poison ivy sort of way to, I'll say, accessorize. I feel like her nose might be a little bit high. I want to experiment real quick. Come on. kind of like that better. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull the bridge of the nose down and into that, and I think I'm going to call that good. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start sculpting in this hair a little bit nicer. And I'm trying to look at the shapes that I've made while I'm kind of pulling things out, and I'm going to try to create a flow that feels super, super compelling, interesting, you know, like just trying to find some interesting things here. All right. Oops. I didn't know I had my MRGB turned on for this brush. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to kind of dig in here. Okay, let's kind of pull this down a little bit so that feels like it's creating a complete shape. Okay, we got this going on, we got that going on. We got to kind of smooth out some things here. Okay, we got some cool things happening. I want to decide how... Oh, that's really not nice here. Let's see, let's kind of inflate that a little bit and smooth it out some. I'm trying to decide how much angle I want to put into her hair. When we did Penguin, the hair was very, I'll say, sculpted. I mean, he's got, you know, it's very simple. Okay, not a whole lot going on. It's just kind of sculpted to be able to give the idea of the flow. So we could do something like that with her as well. Let's go ahead. We'll do it. Might as well, right? Get something like that. Have fun, sis. All right. Okay, so we're getting this sort of thing going on here. I want to get like a little bit of like a turn to the hair here. So we're gonna oh, let's turn on backface masking here. In fact, we could even take some of this from the front and have it kind of flow off over here. So that way we're getting even like a little bit more of like an overlap of form, an overlap of shape. don't like the shape of the eyelids, how they're sitting right now, so I'm going to kind of try to push these in a little bit. Means I've also got to go through by extension and fix the eye. Isn't too bad. All right, let's just go through and just really get rid of that eye. Okay, that feels much nicer. Still some things to kind of, oh, that's why. It's like, kind of fix the shape from a couple different angles so that we're looking much more solid. Okay. Okay, let's get back into this hair. See what we can do. Since her hair is like more of a feature, I do want to kind of be a little bit more controlled with it. So I think we will do something a little bit cleaner than what we did with Oswald, right? Let's go ahead and use the move brush to get this so that it's a little bit more in line, a little bit more, yeah, just a little bit more in line. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, I am thinking that maybe I'll have fun like nobody's business. Okay. I want to have this kind of long enough to rest on her shoulder. And then I also want to have, let's go ahead and kind of pose her body. I know that I want to have like a little bit of a kind of an up angle like this. Let me see, I'm going to go ahead and use pinch, use the alternate function on pinch. Woo, wrong subtool there. Shoot, I'm hitting like all the wrong buttons today. It's like, what's going on? Ah! All right, let's go ahead and let's grab that, mask that off so that we can kind of control the shape a little bit, get some nice sharp transitions here. Get this to kind of come out this way like this. We'll get this to kind of eat in like that. And now it feels like we've got like some hair that's actually kind of turning over itself. I do need some more resolution. So let's come over here. I'm going to say 256. So we got that going on. That upheld the shapes nicely, so we're going to be happy with it. Okay, so we're going to try to go in here. We're going to make it so that these ridges are not so parallel. I'm going to, let's kind of eat away at this a little bit here. And then we'll dig in here. Get that sort of thing going on. Oops. Get that sort of thing going on there. Alright, so that's getting some interesting vibes. That's kind of odd though. I don't like how that turned out. So let's go through here. I'm going to use Trim Dynamic to kind of just kind of plane that out a little bit better. Plane it out a little bit better on the bottom. Now, one of the cool things that we can do, I'm not going to worry about sculpting the back of the hair as much because it just doesn't matter as much. But one of the things that we can do, this is not feeling quite right. Here, I'm gonna kind of play with this shape here, make it, kind of complement it out on this side. Let's kind of pull this in. Again, have it so that it's kind of resting on her collarbone, on her shoulder, right there. Kind of pull this back a little bit. Try to strengthen some of these shapes over here. Let's do like a little Overwatch-ish crease right here. Just see if I can clean it up a little bit so that it's a little bit less messy. Standard, we'll just kind of pull this back. Make sure that that's got a good clean shape there. This has a good clean shape here. So much to kind of like go through and just like clean up as you're as you're creating, right? So such a day, and I'm trying to like speed through this so that I can move on with my Saturday. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm kind of hungry. You guys had breakfast? What did you eat? And granted, some people are from all over the world. They're all different places watching. So what's something that you enjoyed that you ate today? No, breakfast is rough when you're trying to concentrate. Yeah, it definitely can be. It definitely can be. I like that. Let me see. So I don't know. Hey Yariv, how you doing? Let me see. You had a chocolate chip muffin and coffee for breakfast. Nice. Coffee. Okay. I hope things are well. Had a pleasure to watch you create. Curious just how modular you get when creating in ZBrush. Do you get as modular as Shane does? Now, when you talk about modular, are you talking about just like, you know, salvaging pieces from other things? Um, I mean, this is something that I started off from a sphere, and I just kind of like put things together. I know that like he and I have some of the same techniques in going through and creating. Got like all these different little poly groups of things that um, that allows me to kind of keep shapes separate. Allows me to control creases and edges when pieces are coming together. Um, is that what you're referring to? When you make a face or head, do you break off the features into components? Yeah, so like, yeah, so I mean, each of these pieces are all, I have them separate so that it allows me to control the transitions between the pieces. It allows me to keep it cleaner. It's just nice. It's just nice. All right, let's see about creating. Let me see. I kind of want to give her. Well, I need to give her a piece of something for teeth. Let me see. Let's say insert. I'm just gonna insert a cylinder. Beautiful. Let's grab this. We'll say mRGB color fill object. But yeah, I really like being able to keep things. I'll say modular, as you say. Go ahead and kind of pull that into that sort of neighborhood over in there. That'll allow me to feel like she's got a little bit more. I don't understand yet how to switch and mask between polygroups. Don't remember all the shortcuts. So masking is really cool. Is you can go ahead like alt and click on a different poly subtool to be able to select it. So you can see like, you know, I'm selecting this, now I'm selecting this, now I'm selecting this. You know, it's just about going through and kind of clicking on it. So really super simple. Now with different poly groups, if you have your gizmo selected, so you come up here and hit the move button or something like that, and if you hold control and tap, then it's going through and it's allowing you to mask by whatever poly group you're clicking on. So that's a super super helpful tip. I love masking. It's the most it's one of the most useful tools you'll ever have inside of ZBrush. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. With the eyes, I want to go ahead and actually pose these. Actually, I kind of want to pose the character as a whole. So let's do this. I'm going to say, before I start going in and creating a few leaves to kind of populate her bust with, I want to go ahead and do something like, this is such a complex character. I want to pose her a little bit so that way, here, let's go ahead and hit save, Control S. That silhouette's pretty fun. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. I mean, it's definitely not perfect. I think there are things that I could go through and finesse and refine and things like that. But I think it's definitely in a super cool in a super cool direction. All right, so we're gonna mask that out. Kind of want to like pose her head so that it's up a little bit. Okay, with the hair, just kind of like take it back a little bit. Pull this down. Although I don't know quite yet. Here, let's do this. I'm going to grab. Let me see. Let's go ahead and we'll do this. We'll grab this. Control A. And then I want to kind of like take her body and twist it. I want to pose. This, which means I may need to go through and add like a looks like you're a pro 3D artist. You probably make some characters for games, right? Yes, I do. I'm a character supervisor on Overwatch. This is interesting, though. Let me see. Yeah, I love my job. It's it's such a fun job. Okay, so with this, I want to make sure that I'm considering how things strain and stretch when the head and neck are posed. So like the musculature on one side is going to be much more relaxed. But you notice that like as you turn away from one side, the muscle on your neck is flexing. Oh, my neck is insanely unhappy right now. I'm going to have to kind of pose most things, I think, separately. I'm not sure how to feel about this yet. Let me see. Cool. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's invert that. Turn off symmetry. Okay, I'm liking where this is landing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to kind of reposition this because, again, I want her to feel alluring. So this is going to be kind of part of my experimentation to get this to feel right. And I got to kind of push this in a little bit. It doesn't feel right though. That's a little bit too close to the corner of the eye. Bashar. That's interesting. Let's see. I'm going to take this down just a little bit further. Maybe rotate it a little bit more. So much to explore and experiment with. I think we'll probably know a little bit more like how well it works once we see it in color, but I don't know, kind of fun. You know, interesting idea. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's save this just so we don't lose it. I'm going to grab, because I like how everything's looking here. I kind of like the idea of having this, the torso piece, sitting the way that it's sitting. But then I want to have the rest of the head. Let's do this. Let's kind of grab that. Have the rest of the head kind of angled off. I was originally trying to keep it so that it was so that the heads, you know, kept symmetry. But I think that, you know, angling things off, I think that that's just, it was a long time coming. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of pull this down, pull this over, something like that, get this to feel like it's working. Kind of resculpt this hair a little bit. We'll have to like go in and tweak it and fix it and whatnot in the T-pose sub T. Once we get into this mode, we can kind of go through and double check, and maybe we bring this area down in front and make it so that it feels a little bit more prominent and whatnot. These are too evenly spaced. So I'm gonna try to like take this over. Yeah, let's take this over here. I think that'll work out nicely. Okay, just make sure we're controlling the shape so that it's clean. Some of this is a little bit messy. I'm not sure how much I have the energy to care right now. Yeah, let's come over here. Let's kind of clean this up a little bit. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'll accept that. One of the things I want to do is I'm going to grab all these and let's rename this head. We'll say split hidden. Let's make this torso. I think that might make things a little bit easier. Oh, the teeth weren't on when, oh. Disappointment. That's okay. We just need to go through and kind of position them. Make sure this is kind of more or less facing the direction of the face. All right, I'm going to see about, let's mask this edge loop partial here. I'll just kind of like bring this in, mask this one, and then we'll just kind of tighten it up. A lot of what I'm trying to do is just provide myself with a slightly nicer silhouette for those teeth. It should just work out pretty nicely. Let me see. Finished 3D character course with a Polish guy named Kuba Wasza. Made character for Full Theory Studio for the game. I've never heard of that one. You told me to watch other artists' streams. Have you heard about the studio? I haven't. Played the demo. The designs were really cool from what I saw, but it was a great course. I also took 3 months and it was hard, but also I managed to finish everything, including retopology and Blender and texturing and Substance Painter. Learn from complete. That's pretty cool. Yeah, good job. CD Red making a game dev festival on the 6th of the new month. Ticket costs. Hope your teacher will sneak you in. Good luck. Sometimes having those good connections gets you in places. So yeah, maybe. Maybe. just trying to go through and find trying to find some good little angles to add in there. I like that. That's good enough. This bit up in here though, this feels like that's kind of hanging out a little bit too high, so I'm just going to kind of tug on it. This needs a little bit of cleanup, so we're just going to kind of refine the flow, some of those bits there. Alright. There are issues, but she's looking pretty cool. I really like the graphic shape. I want to really kind of finish out this shape in something that feels super appealing. So let's kind of tweak that a bit here. Get that a nice silhouette down here, so it just kind of like flows out. Maybe I'll get this so that this comes out a little bit further, just to simplify that shape a little bit. Okay, that's kind of coming up and in, so let's do this. I'm going to grab this piece, kind of shove that into there, pull this back, okay, that's pretty cool. Let's grab this. Let's kind of refine this a little bit. I'm just trying to think about like flow, making sure that this is going to work out just fine. Okay. Okay, that's working. That's working. I will keep that. Go. Now something else that I think we can do is that I do want the shoulder to kind of have a little bit more prominence in this composition here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, so here are these shoulders. Let's go ahead and auto groups those. You know, I don't think Dynamesh is on anymore. Yeah. Let's do this. Maybe what we'll do is we'll kind of rotate this a little bit out. And we'll start pulling this so that this fills in that gap a little bit better. Got to make sure that I'm getting some good transitions in here for the musculature and everything, kind of leading between the shoulder and the pectorals. Now I have to now I learn how to make clothing, a marvelous designer. No, I'll definitely not be making like clothing, but I will be making some like some leaves to kind of populate over some of these areas here, so that way it feels like she's covered and then she's actually poison ivy. Because I definitely want her to feel like who she's supposed to be, and I feel like that's going to be one of those key things, one of those key elements that helps her to be like, okay, this is definitely poison ivy. But I'm not going through and doing like a major amount of production finish, if you will. Is really just intended to be a speed sculpt and just something for fun, and it's, I've already been going for 2.5 hours, so yeah, got to get something going on in there, but I don't want it to feel like it's too. I want to kind of like maybe change the shape a little bit. But yeah, I think for me it's all about kind of trying to find ways to make it read right, for a quick exercise, but not having it be complete finished. Like I don't have time for a full character, and I don't know that people would stick around to watch a full character. Thanks, Bakunya. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. All right. I want to do something real quick here. Oh, that's rich. Let's take it from a little bit higher up, though. Just kind of pull these forward just a little bit. Really want to soften out some of this here. It's got a little bit too crazy. Give a little bit underneath that. Oh, that's starting to come together like really nicely. I'm really liking how that's looking. Still some things I want to explore and experiment with, but that's coming along pretty cool. I want to grab the body here. Let's actually grab that collarbone and kind of push it in, and then we'll just say Control W and mush everything together. I think that this will help me to get a little bit more solid of a of a result here. Let's go ahead and get that transition along the top to feel nice. We have some things going on here. I want to kind of like make sure that I'm getting some good transitions going along the pec and other joints up here. You know, this is looking good. Okay. Try to play with accentuating some different anatomical cues here. Okay, I think we got everything we need there. Let's let's go through and rename the teeth. Okay, let's say append. We'll say sphere. Grab the sphere, and let's start kind of pushing this into position. What I'm looking for with this piece, with this specific little piece here, let me go ahead and make sure that I hit save, because if I don't, gonna lose it. I want to make sure that shoulder's going to need some fun fixing too. We'll get there at some point. In fact, maybe what we'll do is I'll add in a piece of arm to go down here. I think let's do that now so that we don't. Let's just reuse the. Reuse the neck. Modify topology. Delete hidden. Kind of like do something like this, like this. Okay, I'm liking that sort of positioning. So this will be kind of our block in for whatever we do with this. This bit needs to come and be more shoulder, kind of like this. I'm just going to grab her arm piece here. We'll just kind of like smooth that out some so that this is, I'm trying to make sure this is creating the right connection here. Okay, you see like I'm getting like the shoulder overlapping with the other arm anatomy here. I want to make sure that that's getting kind of that sort of clean read. Getting some clean shape transitions in here. Cool. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, and I think that super helps to feel more. Let's go ahead and kind of fill that in so that it's a little less crazy through here. All right. that feels weird. So I mean, we'll go through and we'll fix it. But I mean, it's one of those things that we'll probably go back and forth on this a lot, just to make sure that I'm getting the structures and the shapes, but also the colors and everything else that I need. Just gonna pull this down, pull this down. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting silhouettes that I like. I need to check it from different angles so that it feels good. I'm gonna pull up the traps on this side. Maybe pull this back a little bit, but otherwise I think that that's feeling good now. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's block in. And let's go ahead and grab the grab her plant color, which technically could be her eye color. I'll just pick from her eye. It's a little bit different. Although I do kind of like the way that that looked. That was a little bit warmer. I'll keep that. So now what I want to do is I want to grab my move brush. Let's kind of start shrinking and grabbing and pushing and pulling, and we have a couple of things that we can do to be able to make this torso piece work out nicely. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just start with blocking in the actual like rib cage area. Okay, and then one of the things that I want to do, this is something that'll be much easier to control once I add some layers of leaves on top or whatnot, and Dynamesh and all that. Let's go ahead and grab that, kind of push that in. I'm going to kind of flatten the bottom here. In fact, if we wanted to, maybe we could just go ahead and let's try this. I'm gonna come over here to the torso. I'm going to, oh, I don't want to use the mask lasso. I want to use the pen. I'm just going to start off by masking kind of like the area of the breasts that I want to have covered, and maybe mask out the area under the breasts. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now what we can do is we can say extract. We can say extract. That's a good thickness. I like that. Okay, we're going to keep that. We'll say accept. And then I'm going to hold shift and push this little button to bring it all the way down to the bottom. Okay. So now with this piece is currently, I mean, we might even be able to just leave it like that and then just add leaf shapes to it. So yeah, I think that's the sort of thing that I think could work really, really well for us. So let's try something. Women don't have much muscles, but the stylized character doesn't get much anatomy in general, right? Maybe except some basic stuff like characteristic bones. Sometimes. Okay, so one of the things that I'm trying to do with my particular design here, it kind of depends. Like you got to think, women have different body types as well, right? So there are women that are very athletic. There are women that go to the gym a lot. They'll tone up really well. They'll have some very strong shoulders, some very lots of strong like legs, hips, thighs. They like to work on like their core. They like to work on their arms and toning their arms. So you will get women who are very dedicated to going to the gym and to to physical health, to their well-being, to their happiness. But then you also have women who are bodybuilders, who will heavily go to the gym for the sake of building and bulking muscle, for the sake of competitions, and for the sake of just feeling a certain way about themselves. There will be different athletes, like I forgot her name, but the gal that plays for the rugby players. You think about rugby players, like female rugby players or female hockey players. They're insanely built, like super thick and really strong and very very interesting. So depending on the kind of woman you're thinking of, a supermodel is going to be very different. Still toned, but like you're talking about, like the different bone landmarks, those sorts of things, you'll see those a lot more in skinnier, we'll just say skinnier people, because men will have a little bit more boniness as well, if depending on how muscular they are. Just trying to put in like a little bit of a hint at things like the pectoral or sternal separation there. I think that's maybe a little bit too much, so we'll just kind of leave it at that, maybe. Not really 100% sure. I'll kind of playing with it, I guess. With this arm though, let's do something right here. Let's grab the knife curve. We'll just kind of slice off the end, just so that way it creates more of like a. In fact, we don't even need that much of it. We can just come over here. Do I want it to break the silhouette? Yeah, I'll have it break the silhouette. I just don't want it to go off too far. But yeah, so I'm just trying to go ahead and create okay, so let's grab this. You know what? I kind of liked this color a little bit better. Let's use that. Cool. Okay, so she's in there. She is in there. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to smooth out some borders here so that the edges don't feel so insanely sharp. Must be so uncomfortable. Let me see. So let's see what else we can do here. I'll use my move brush and just kind of like tweak this a little bit. Yeah, this is all just going to be like super speed sculpt sort of style stuff. So this is interesting. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to say let's Control S, Control Shift D is what I was wanting to do. So we have this version. I want to try something else here. Because one of the things that I really like to do when I'm playing around with, not deformation, surface, noise, hold on, lightbox noise makers. I like to kind of fake certain details sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll grab this this noise maker in here. let's edit it. And I'm going to say strength, and we can go in like the opposite direction. I don't want any color. And I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to say, well, let's start off. Let's say mask, apply to mesh. I'm going to say turn the noise on again, and then we can say mask by noise. And let's invert it. We'll just kind of like pull on some of these points in here. And this will help it to feel a little bit more like greenery, like, you know, she's covered in plants, sort of vibe. I'm trying to make it feel pointier and sharper because it goes along with the character. I don't need to take every one of these points. I kind of just want to take whatever's going around the edge. So you can see, like, if we're looking at this, that's starting to feel sharp. It's starting to feel pointy. It's starting to feel something kind of intentional. But I think I definitely think faking the instead of going through and actually making leaves, I think that's probably a good call for my sanity right now. A little bit too much. So let's go down here. I'm going to kind of break silhouette so that it kind of covers things nicely here. It's like I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting some really strong shapes going through there so that it doesn't feel like broccoli. All right, and there she is. I'm gonna call that done. Good enough. It's been 3 hours, practically. So we'll call it good. We will call it good. There we go. There we go. How about that? Poison ivy, everybody. So now we've got two of our villains. Let's go ahead and I'll kind of let's come over here to the pupils, and we'll just fill those with our regular color. Now I feel like there are some things that I like better with Oswald than I do with Ivy over here. But it was fun. It was fun. There we go. There we go. So yeah, we'll call it good, and we'll pick up again next time and do something different. Hopefully you guys had fun. I had fun. It's always fun kind of digging into a different style and really exploring it, and trying to play and have fun. So yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Again, if anybody's interested in my links, I've got them pasted there in the chat. Welcome to come and say hi. I'm on Instagram, on a whole bunch of different other sites and things as well. So, gosh, By way of announcements, um, I am preparing for Lightbox at the end of October. I will have a table, and I will be having my very first officially manufactured toys there available for sale. So feel free to come, say hi, check them out. I'm excited to release them into the world. So hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time I see you. Peace out.